We're almost halfway through the main lifespan of the Game Boy at this point, and fittingly this game rounds off the first half of Batman titles. Again, Sunsoft were solely responsible, and I'm curious to see if they got it right this time around. The first title, just called Batman, was not a patch on their NES efforts, playing like some cheap Super Mario Land knockoff rather than the near masterpiece the first NES game portrayed. Off the bat, things look more promising. The wall jumping mechanic made famous with the NES game is here and works exactly the same way. Which is strange because the NES version of Return of the Joker did not have these wall jumps. Make your mind up, that's all I ask. Press A to jump, and then when you're next to a wall or pipe, press it again. Batman will cling on and fling himself back the other way. I always appreciated the way that it looks harder than it is. You don't need to bother with any directions or anything, just pressing A is enough, and you can ascend as far as the vertical surfaces will allow you to. Pressing up flings out a grappling hook, which you can use in conjunction with jumping to maneuver yourself around somewhat agilely. It's not the easiest, and it's nigh impossible to do consecutive grapples. Spider-Man he ain't. If you've collected weapons like the Batarang, you can utilize them with B. They don't last for long though, and there's no indication of how much ammo you have left, leaving you with a punch attack once it's run out. Call me a wimp or whatever, but you really need more than one life for a game like this. How anyone can be expected to survive all of the assailants as well as the super tricky platforming without first meticulously learning the level layouts is beyond me. You get continues, but they'll send you right back to the start of the level. And there is a health bar, but it won't last you long. Halfway through the first stage, a tank bursts open, filling the area with thousands of gallons of water. Underwater, your movement reduces to basically nothing, leaving you vulnerable to everything. Cascades of water crash down on you from above with no warning. These take 2 blocks of health off you. So he can get punched, kicked, shot and stabbed, but what really hurts our Caped Crusader more than anything is a good soaking. And I don't think it's 2 hit points, it's more than that, as collecting a small heart from an enemy drop doesn't always fill your health back up a bar like you'd expect it to. The game is full of cheap deaths too that leave a real sour taste. You get through a particularly tricky moving platform section with conveyor belts and pitfalls, and you feel proud of yourself thinking you may be finally getting the hang of it, only to immediately have a bunch of crates dropped on top of you with absolutely no warning whatsoever. You guessed it, game over, you go back. Enemies are spry while you certainly aren't, and some of them fire at you from off the screen with barely a moment to dodge, which feels super unfair as well. A positive is the presentation. Batman is a much more reasonable size this time around. The interlacing on the graphics and the distorted water effects are very cool to look at, and the music and punch sounds take us right back to the heftiness of the first NES game. If you can make it to a boss fight, this is where the gameplay does shine. They're all unique, balanced, and the right level of challenge. I just don't understand why this balance wasn't extended to the rest of the affair. This game had no need to be this hard, and honestly, what does it is the solitary life combined with the cheapness of some of the deaths. The rest of it you could get used to with enough practice, but those 2 aspects really spoil the experience for me. Batman's awesome and had some awesome games as we all know. I just really want one on the Game Boy. There are only 2 chances left, on the original at least. Get a grip, Sunsoft.